Today is an occasion for us to pay a visit to a once again renewed popular idea called modern monetary theory.
The person whose name is most on it, Stephanie Kelton, was an advisor to Bernie Sanders' campaign 4 years ago. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, many of the new progressives on the left have associated themselves with her ideas, her publications, and this theory. So I think it is fair to say that it is a theory that it resides and is frankly gaining popularity on the progressive left.
Yeah.
Not all economists think the national debt is something we should worry about. One of them is Stephanie Kelton. She's a professor of economics and public policy at Stony Brook University.
I'm the former chief economist on the U.S. Senate Budget Committee for the Democratic staff, and I'm the author of a New York Times bestseller, The Deficit Myth.
That book has a lot of interesting ideas about government debt.
The last thing that she says about taxes, specifically before I move on to the rest of the book, is that she says the purpose for taxes, the main purpose, the biggest one, is to create a demand for the currency. She gives an example of a dad who wants his kid to do chores, and so he says, I'll give you these dad coupons. And they say, we don't want those dad coupons. And he says, okay, well, at the end of every week, you owe me 30 dad coupons, or else, you're grounded. And so in order to create a demand for those dad coupons, which are really worthless to him, he says, well, you owe them to me or else there will be a punishment. And so all of a sudden, now they have to go and do all these chores in order to, accumulate these dad coupons so that at the end of the week, they can pay some of them back to him. And ultimately, he doesn't care what they are. He could destroy them. He doesn't need them. He made them up. He printed them. And so she says this is exactly what the government does. That the government just, they have to include taxes in the system in order to create a demand for the currency. If you don't turn in a certain number of their fake printed money at the end of the year, you go to jail.
We should put modern in quotation marks because it's a very old idea. Thousands of years old, if the truth be told. But once again, it is being presented as new. And it is this. It is the idea that governments can spend as much as they want, and to pay for it, they simply print the cash. They create the money because, of course, the bank which they own, in our case, the Bank of Canada, has a monopoly on the creation of that currency, so why not just create more money in order to spend it?
If the state wishes to spend more, it can do so only by borrowing your savings or by taxing you more. And it's no good thinking that someone else will pay. That someone else is you. There is no such thing as public money. There is only taxpayers' money.
Can I ask you about another policy and sort of fixation of economists right now, modern monetary theory?
Yeah.
Can you just, in shorthand, describe it for our viewers?
No.
Okay.
I cannot describe it for you because
it makes no sense.
When you try to talk to the MMT people, you say, so this is what you're saying. They say, no, you just don't get it.
The only limit on the amount that can be spent is when said money creation leads to inflation, at which point modern monetary theorists say the solution is to simply raise taxes in order to reduce the demand that was driving up the inflation in the first place. Now, all this sounds magical, creating something from nothing. But as it has been said, there is nothing new except what is forgotten. I quote Reinhardt and Rogoff, two Harvard professors that have studied 800 years of debt crises, and they say, and I quote, early on across the world, as already noted, the main device for defaulting on government obligations was that of debasing the content of the coinage. Modern currency presses are just a technologically advanced and efficient approach to achieving the same end.
So you sort of dismiss them as sort of being, cranks on the far left.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not even sure it's on the far left. It's not at all clear that an MMT perspective, whatever that is, because they're very hard to decipher. The content is not actually especially leftist, not more so than a conventional Keynesian view. If anything, I could get too technical here, but if anything, I would say that a conventional Keynesian view gives you more room for deficit spending than MMT does.
I think that we could look at what Republicans have done, both with the tax cuts and with the $300 billion or so in spending, and say they seem to kind of get MMT.
When governments print money, they drive up the price of two things. One, the things that the rich own. And two, the things that everyone else buys. So if you are a millionaire mansion owner, you're getting extremely rich. Your house is making a lot more money than you are. You're sitting in your rocking chair and cash is just falling out of your attic on your head. But if you are a working class person who rents in order to have a roof overhead, your rent is going up, your food is going up, your gas is going up, everything you buy is going up, except your wages are not. And guess what? That dream of owning a house, it's getting further and further away.
Deficits do matter, but they don't matter in the ways that we've been conventionally thinking about them. And the way we usually think about a deficit is that it's evidence of excessive spending. And that's just wrong. I'm not worried about the $22 trillion in debt, because all the national debt is a historical record of all of the dollars that the government spent into the economy and didn't tax back that people are currently saving in the form of U.S. treasuries. I'm not worried about $22 trillion in U.S. assets being held in portfolios and pensions and so forth all over the world.
What if interest rates
bother me. What I'm worried about
getting a little
is
short
inflation.
on time. Steph, the only reason I'm jumping in is, so if interest rates go, right now they're very low, which means the borrowing cost or the deficit right now is very low, and for the debt that you mentioned. So if interest rates go up a little bit, how do you propose to pay for that? Do you continue to just expand the money supply?
The honourable member for Kingston and the Islands.
I just want to know, Madam Speaker, if there's going to be a test on this history lesson afterwards, and if I should be expecting that to come when the member's done.
Pardon me, point of order, the honourable member for Carleton.
Well, the test has been running for 4 years now, and they've been getting an F year after year after year.
My slang is editorial, explicit material, briefcase show, live and stereo flow, feel me.